Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Jingle. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're talking about Severin's new release of Hell of the Living Dead. But before we get into that, please remember to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I have a lot more horror movie reviews and figure or collecting reviews and unboxings coming down the line. So if that's anything that interests you, stay tuned. Now, I want to start off by going over the package itself. Now, this is the new 4K of Hell of the Living Dead from Severin. This was released as part of their Black Friday sale, and this is one of my favorite releases they've done. The packaging is amazing. As you can see, you've got the famous eyeball scene on the front with the lettering in blood, and it's raised and embossed. And the back says Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragaso's infamous zombie chomp spectacular. This is what the main case looks like with the reversed artwork. I went for the zombie creeping flesh artwork. I really love how this movie has a couple different titles that it was known as. Now, I'll show you the back of this, which you've got some stills from the movie there. And then this is the artwork that it comes with. It has a reversible card in there. So this is Hell of the Living Dead. And this was actually the North American 4K premiere. It was released on 4K by 88 Films, and their artwork was pretty awesome. I'll pull it up here on the side and show you guys that. I believe that it was done by Graham Humphreys. At least it looks a lot like his artwork, and he's one of my favorite artists of all time. I've got a couple of his Evil Dead prints above me that are numbered, and I'll have to show you guys those sometime. Now, on the inside of this release, you have the 4K disc, you have the Blu-ray disc, and then you have the soundtrack, which it says Virus on it. That's another one of the titles that it was known by. And then you also have the soundtrack, track list on there. I believe that was another title that this movie was known as. And this soundtrack, the funny thing about this is that these are all, they were all scored by Goblin, the 80s rock band. And most of these tracks were just pulled from Dawn of the Dead and Contamination, which is really funny to me. These Italian horror directors, they were always just trying to find the cheapest way to get something done and the quickest way to get something done. But yeah, guys, so that was scanned from the camera negative, I believe, and it's a phenomenal transfer. I absolutely loved it, and I was blown away by it. Now let's talk a little bit about this film. So, Hell of the Living Dead was released on January 20th of 1980 in Spain, but it didn't come out until 1983 in the US. And obviously, this is known as a Dawn of the Dead ripoff. Everyone was trying to capitalize on the success of these big budget movies, and it was mainly these Italian horror directors that just loved to rip them off. This was directed by Vincent Don, which was actually an alias that was used by Bruno Mattei because it was suggested by his Spanish production team that he should do that. And it's really funny to me because it's Vincent Don, which is an obvious nod to Dawn of the Dead, the movie that he's ripping off, which was really clever, I thought. The screenplay was done by none other than Claudio Fragasso, who is best known for Troll 2, which is one of my favorite amazingly bad 80s movies. The goal of this film overall was to be similar to Dawn of the Dead, but lighter in tone, and I think it really pulls that off. And like I said, the score was by Goblin, and it was absolutely amazing right from the get-go. They're playing an absolute banger from Dawn of the Dead, I believe. Now, the premise of this movie is it's set at a lab in New Guinea, and there's a chemical spill or a chemical that gets out, and it infects this rat, and the rat gets killed and comes back to life and bites these two workers, and that's what causes the infection to spread, and a news reporter and her team come to the island to investigate. Now, along their journey, they meet these four commando military patrol guys that are all just completely horned up, and their dialogue is so funny. One of them says, "When did you start worrying about our balls, daddy?" Which is just so cringy. I absolutely loved it. And this also has one of the earliest memories of a kid zombie, which he looks absolutely amazing. Him with the blood all over his face was really creepy, and that scene overall is really creepy. And one of the main characters has some balls, let me tell you. Now there's some more zombie designs that I really like in this movie. There's a lake zombie with like his face like melting off that I absolutely loved. And there's also a priest zombie that looks really good. And the zombies in this movie are the classic like need to be shot in the head to die, which I absolutely love. And they're slow, they don't run. I don't think most zombie movies are good when the zombies can just full out sprint, because George Romero himself said that he's the godfather and zombies should not run. Now, what's really funny to me is most of these people, like when the zombies, when they first see the zombies, they just like freeze in shock and they don't run. Like my first instinct would be to just book it and completely say like, screw these things, I'm out of here. But they just freeze in horror, which just adds to the campiness of it even more. Now, there's also a nod to Singing in the Rain when one of the guys puts on a hat tutu and he starts doing the Singing in the Rain dance. And Bruno Mattei actually said that this was meant to be a nod to one of his favorite films of all time. Now, throughout the movie, there's a lot of weird stock footage of some like New Guinean tribe, and it really puts you in the location. Even though they were filming in Barcelona, it really makes you feel like you're right there with the tribe. And you could probably cut the stock footage from this and it would probably shave like 20 to 30 minutes off the film. But these Italian directors love to just do things cheap and try to extend it so they could get it done as fast as possible. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but this movie was shot in just 5 weeks, which is absolutely crazy to me that they could get away with doing that kind of thing back then. That would never happen today. Now, there's a really cool zombie makeup that I absolutely love towards the end that I wanted to show you guys. I absolutely love this guy. He's so awesome. I don't want to spoil the ending for you guys and tell you what happens, but overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I plan on revisiting it again. Let's get into the special features that are on Severin's release. So you have a interview with director Bruno Mattei, which is really interesting. He talks about how he would pretty much reshoot all of his movies if he could, because a lot of the dialogue he doesn't think holds up very well. You also have the Beauty and the Zombie, an interview with the actress Margie. I don't know what her last name is, but she's really good in this movie. I absolutely love her. She's like an OG final girl, and I'm here for it. But there's a lot more like interviews with the cast and crew, and it's a really good release, guys. Overall, I would recommend picking it up if you haven't yet. You could probably wait. I'm sure it'll probably be on sale for their next Black Friday sale, but I just couldn't wait. I've been wanting to see it for a really long time. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for chilling. Peace.